What's up, everybody? Yesterday I asked you, I sound like PewDiePie now. Yesterday I asked you to give me your input on a poll at poll.schizophrenicgamer.com. By the way, guys, you can still go there and give your input and vote for what you think should be buffed in the next balance patch. What's the weakest of the different units in each element and what needs to be buffed in the next balance patch. And today we're gonna go over, there was already over 1,000 people that that voted on the units that they wanted to see buffed. And today we're going to go over, not all of them, but we're going to start going over the fire ones. We'll go through the different ones of the different elements in each subsequent video. Water, wind, light, dark, and talk about like the different units that that should be buffed, that based on the viewers' input, community input, what units, even if I disagree with them, what units should be buffed in the next balance patch. So let's take a look at the top 10 that you guys voted for fire units that need to be buffed in this upcoming balance patch. Number 10 on the list, tied for number 10 actually, with 160 votes, Honghua, the fire kung fu girl. No one ever builds her. I mean, like, some of the other kung fu girls actually get built. No, they don't. They don't. The dark one and the water one get built. I'm expecting the wind kung fu girl to be on the next one. And then, I don't know, with the light, you know what? I didn't even take a look. Maybe the light kung fu girl is, maybe she's not. Who knows? We'll find that out in a couple days. So, fire kung fu girl, again, no one really builds her because she's so random, right? She's so random. She's got the first skill, defense break, and twist kick activated in succession. That's actually not bad. To get a defense break first skill, and then an extra attack into something else, right? Second skill, twist kick attacks the target with the turning kick and decreases attack bar by 50% with an 8% chance and decreases speed. So defense break and attack gauge reduction. Defense break here. Attack gauge reduction here. If the target's attack gauge is depleted, target will be stunned for one turn. That's kind of similar to a Lauren, actually. That's kind of similar to a Lauren. It's kind of similar to a Barbara. Attack gauge decrease and a defense break. So actually, that's not that bad. However, fire dragon attack. This is just so random. It's too random to actually be used. Now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, she's kind of like Lauren. I'm like, ew, could we make her work, right? But this was number 10, again, with 160 votes on what needed to be buffed in the next balance patch. Fire Dragon attack strikes random targets 4 times with the power of fire. Each strike has a 50% chance to elongate the harmful effect on the enemy by 1 turn. If this skill is on cooldown, you have a 25% chance to counterattack when attacked. So, for example, if the unit is stunned, extra stun. You get another 1 turn for a stun. If the unit is like a defense break, increase the defense break every time it's attacked, though, because I mean like, you could elongate the harmful effect, but it's only 50% chance, right? So you could also not elongate any harmful effects, but you could in theory have a 6-turn freeze on a monster. The Omars will still find a way to violent proc out of a 6-turn freeze, but it's technically possible to do. No, I can't count. It would be a 5-turn. Yeah, 5-turn freeze, whatever. Anyway, and then leader skill of attack power. So interesting monster. I mean, I was saying like she's possibly like a little bit like Lauren, a little bit like Barbara. However, it's not like a defense break and it's not a guaranteed defense break into attack gauge reduction with the same skill all the time. It's just it's too random to be like for you to actually be able to count on her. But number 10 with 160 votes. Next on the list at number 10, tied for number 10, is Carrick, the Fire Pirate Captain. So Carrick is basically a bomb detonator for only 1 bomb. It's not like, you know, Ciara detonates everyone. Carrick is like, I'm gonna detonate 1 bomb. Ciara's sitting there like, get on my level, bro. I mean, if he detonated everyone, maybe he would be like closer to a Nat 5 level unit though, right? Even without the bomb detonation though, I think a lot of people don't take into consideration that this actually does a big damage. Regardless of if there's a bomb or not, it'll do pretty good damage, right? It's still a damage dealing skill. It's not just going to detonate it and then nothing. It does big damage, and if there happens to be a bomb, it will detonate. First skill, defense break, which is not bad. Second skill, random AoE random stun, right? It's just like, maybe we'll stun this guy, maybe we'll stun that guy. Did you really want to stun that one? No, you don't get to stun on that one. It's all random. What do you guys not like about RNG? I'm starting to sound like Contours now. What? You guys don't like RNG? Bega, don't do that. Don't do that. And then there's a detonation shot. But even if, like I said again, even if you don't get, even if you don't have a bomb to set off, he still does pretty decent damage. And then a Guild War Leader skill. I wonder, he might be actually decent with, nah, I already decided against that because I'm like, there's better Guild War Leader skills. Like attack power Guild War Leader skill. But he still has attack power Guild War Leader skill. He has defense break. He's got CC and he has big damage. I think he's a decent Guild War unit. I actually built him. He's not a unit that I use all the time, but you know, I feel like he's usable. But it's not about me. It's not about what I think. It's about what you guys voted on. Number 9 on the list. Honestly, I was shocked. I think Spark is going to be very depressed to hear this. 165 votes. Cassandra, the Fire Magical Archer. What? The Fire Magical Archer? I don't think she's even that bad. She's a fire unit that has an attack power leader skill that has double AoEs. At the very least, she's a pretty decent farmer. At the very least, she's a pretty decent farmer. And she's decent for TOA. I have no idea why she's on here. I actually like this unit. I think she's one of the, like, above average for a 3-star, but it's not, again, it's not my list. So this is what you guys voted for. 165 votes to buff the Fire Magical Archer. Or maybe this was inspired by Spark. Spark was like, yo guys, you gotta vote on this list to buff Cassandra. So let's take a look at this. We just did a video on the Water Magical Archer. And then based on attribute differences between you and the enemy, it does different debuffs with the first skill. And then also, damage increases by 15% for each harmful effect on the enemy, which could be nice if you got a lot of debuffs stacked up for things in like Rift of Worlds. These skills might be nice on these first skills for these magical archers. I've always liked these magical archers. They always look cool. Back 6 years ago, these were like some of the better looking units in the game. They haven't really changed at all, artwork style. So I like them. Anyway, second skill, drives a wedge into all enemies. AoE, attack speed break, is not bad. You put her on Despair pretty fast. She's actually pretty decent for TOA, right? Because you got the speed break, which limits their turns. Despair on her would make her stun. And then the third skill, attacks all enemies 2 times with burning arrows and inflicts continuous damage for 3 turns. 35% chance on each attack. Goes up twice though. Not super reliable continuous damage. But still, AoE with continuous damage on it. Kind of like a weaker version of Beretta, but she has a AoE with skill 2 as well. And then, of course, the Fire Leader skill, 35%. Honestly, I feel like she's, at the very least, she's a good for secret dungeons. She's good for farming, and she's potentially good for TOA as well. I was actually using her in TOA in one of these. Some account. I don't know. Some account that I have. I think it was actually China server. I don't even think it was free to win. I think it was actually China server. That's why I say that, is I have her built and I was using her for that. I actually don't even think that she's bad for 3. I feel like there's things that definitely need buffs more, but that's you guys voted for that, man. I still think she's not that bad, but whatever. 165 votes coming in at number 9 on the list. Number 8 on the list, Neha the Fire Dryad. I'm not even surprised to see her on this list because honestly, I feel like she suffers from the same problem that Christina suffers from. It's like, she does this, which is good for this, but she also does this, which is good for that. But it's not really, you would pick her for one skill in one spot and for another skill in another spot. Because this really says, I'm going to take turn 2, right? And be like more of a bruiser, but this says I need to take turn 1 and be more aggressive in stripping and blocking beneficial effects. But the thing is with this, like, this is kind of an either or thing. This is like, you either shorten the time of beneficial effects by 1 turn, or you prevent the enemy from gaining beneficial effects. You can't have both. It's not like she does both, like the Dark Beast Monk, which does both, and then damage on top of that. She's like, I do this, or I do that. And I also am a unit that you'd want to use in a turn 1 team, because this is a turn 1 team kind of thing. I mean, it's not a good turn 1. Like, it needs to be better for a turn 1. But then her Guild War Leader skill for resistance and for Honeybee Friends, this is like, I'm going to take turn 2 kind of thing, right? So she's kind of like, she's confused at where she wants to go and what direction she wants to go in life. She's like a teenager. It's like, I think I might want to be a doctor, but I also want to be a biker and I want to be a DJ. Like, that's Neha. Pick one. Pick one. Doctor preferred might be a better choice Nisha. I'm just saying, why am I giving life advice to a fire dryad in Summoner's War? Anyway, you guys, 169 votes. You guys ranked this number 8. Number 7 on the list, Fire Panda Warrior. So here's another one. I was very shocked to see this as number 7 above the Dryad, because I'm like, you could use the Panda Warrior. You can't really do much with the Dryad, but you could use the Panda Warrior. But you guys voted him number 7 on the list, Fire Panda Warrior. I think probably because, like, a lot of people built him, and then they're like, I'm progressing more to an aggressive, because he's supposed to be for, when he first came out, he was initially for Necropolis and for R5 to help, or just raids in general, right? Rift of Worlds content in general, to help people for Rift of Worlds content, because they didn't have enough good monsters that were going to help them in that. Plus for the Necropolis, because he's got multi-hits, he's got the Revenge, and he's got more multi-hits there. He was good in both places. He wasn't like, well, like in Necropolis, like he didn't do that much damage. He helped break the shield, and he did debuffs, and he kept sustain on the team, and then you could also use this. But back in the day when he was first introduced, that's kind of the reason that he was, that's kind of what he was there for. But now since people have, you know, Twins have come out, people are just doing that, BJ5's come out, people doing that, he's basically in storage, and people are probably like, I fused him, what do I do with him now? Because his intent, he was good when he came out, his intent was, he filled the need when he first came out, kind of similar to Veramos. I wonder if Veramos is going to be on the list for the Dark Ones. I didn't take a look at the information on that yet. That'll be in one of the next videos, but I feel like he's probably on the list because a lot of people have him, and they're like, I don't know what to do with him now. I don't use him anymore. So there you go. Young Fei, Fire Panda. 176 votes. Number 6, 180 votes, Jojo the Fire Bomber. So again, this guy, very similar to Christina, very similar to Fire Dryad. I don't think that the community necessarily wants him buffed. They just want him to make sense. I think the community, for the most part, for a lot of these units, is like, come to us, please. We want the units to make actual sense. So he is a defense-based unit that is a bomber. He's a what? He's a bomber, but he's a defense-based unit. But bombs are not based on defense. That's right, they're not based on defense. He should be an attack type unit that is a bomber, and he is a fusible, free-to-play friendly bomber to get. And also get skill ups for. And I feel like that would be good, and people would want to use him because he's a bomber, and if he was just an attack type unit, like that would already That would already be half the battle. Him being an attack type unit. Number 1, that doesn't make him like perfect. That's just like, that's the start, right? So he's got this, the same as Lucian. He's got the bomb, which is actually not bad, honestly. It's a nice skill, but bombs should be for attack type units because bombs are based on attack. For bombers, you want to go either speed hold on. Sorry. Force of habit. You want to go speed attack or attack with speed and subs, and then accuracy because you need the accuracy for the bombs to land as well. And then the skill 3, some of the fall of fire. A wall of fire inflicts continuous damage for 3 turns. I mean, both of these are good potentially for like a TOA hard kind of thing because continuous damage based on the enemy's max HP, and then ignore defense is also good for there, right? So you got some things, but this is not like Beretta's just better than this, right? But I mean, Beretta doesn't have a bomb skill, so you got like the one this way and the one the other way. But I think the biggest thing would be like him having an attack type leader skill. Also, defense in dungeons. But you don't use bombs for dungeons. Bombs are for PvP. Bombs are for, well, not always, but like I said, TOA hard kind of thing. You use bombs in TOA hard, it's great. Because enemies in TOA hard have a lot of HP and a lot of defense. So this takes, ignores defense. Bombs ignore defense. Continuous damage. Also ignores defense and does damage based on the enemy's max HP when they tick down. So if he did a little bit more continuous damage and dungeon leader skill. Again, what's the dungeon leader skill on things that are not used in dungeons count to us? If he was an attack type monster, had an arena offense, arena leader skill of like attack, right? Attack type unit, arena attack leader skill, and then the third skill did like, I don't know, something better. Something better. He would actually be a decent unit for arena offense in like a bomb team, right? If you want an attack power leader skill for a bomb team, he would be a decent unit. They can't make him too good because then why would you build any other bomber aside from the JoJo? Like why would you build Malaka? Why would you build Taurus? Why would you build the Dark Bomber or the Light Bomber or whatever? So he's just confused. He's the wrong classification, which they've 6 years to fix this. Come to us. The Water Magical Archer, the Fire Bomber, there's so many other units, Trinity, right? Just fix the classification. I think that a lot of the things that the community wants is just to have the classifications on these monsters corrected. Number 5 with 185 votes, Aster the Fire Magic Knight. I'm not really a fan of this unit myself. On the bright side, she's not as slow as her sisters, which are like 90 speed on 3 of these, which is pretty gross to be that slow. And she has a global leader skill, right? So on the bright side, she does have that. But she's got the first skill. We've got just the triple hit, more powerful attack on the third attack. We've got the Magic Surge, which is a silence. This is, I mean, she's got a strip silence, so it's not quite the same, right? She's got a multi-hit silence, though. And then she's got the Vengeful Fire passive. Your attack speed increases as your HP gets lower, and you deal 50% more damage if the enemy has more HP than you. And I'm like, what do I want to use this for? Like, what do I want to use this for? Like, I kind of want to build her, but then I'm like, what do I want to use this for? Like, do I use it for Guild Wars? Do I use it for arena offense? Like, not for arena offense, not for arena defense. What do I don't know what I want to use this for, right? Then again, I can say that I've built crazier things. I'm probably not seeing some amazing utilization for her, but she looks cool enough, I guess. Probably her transmogs. I don't remember what her transmogs look like on her, but her transmogs probably look cool too. She looks like a Twitch streamer girl with the pink hair, but not all Twitch streamer girls have pink hair, Mega. Yeah, they do. Every single one of them. In my mind, they all do. But yeah, Aster, 185 votes. A unit that I've never cared enough to build myself, so maybe there's something to that. I can't really disagree with this one, because... yeah. Number 4 on the list, Scarlet the Fire Cannon Girl. That's actually a decent jump number-wise in votes from the number 5 on the list. So Scarlet the Fire Cannon Girl, one of the newer units that really you don't see anyone using too much, right? I feel like the community is not too happy about these cannon girls. They're like, yeah, we got new monsters, but what are we supposed to do with them? So let's take a look at Scarlet's skills. I actually do think that there may be a little bit of a utilization for Scarlet, kind of, even though the people have already started to veer away from the teams that she could have kind of been good in. Let's take a look at what she does. She's got the Fire, multi-hit, 3 hits, decreased attack gauge. She's got the Wild Shot, 8 hits, defense break. This is a great skill. A lot of people are using this for Necro, even unawakened. So she doesn't have this skill when she's unawakened. And then her AI will just use multi-hits and 8-hit defense break, right? So using it for Necro for like speedrun teams, right? Just because this does so many hits, it breaks the shield like instantly. And then we have this, so the first skills are good for Necro, right? But then we have a Guild War Leader skill. Like, oh, great, Guild War Leader skill. Fatal Mortar Bullet attacks the enemy with the cannon gun, weakens defense for 1 turn of 1 unit, though. 1 unit, 1 turn, and then 90% chance. Afterwards, inflicts damage on all enemies and destroys their max HP by 50% of the inflicted damage. Okay, what are we gonna do with the defense break on 1 unit for 1 turn and then destroy HP? So this could be good. Again, people are kind of veering away from using these themes. The meta has kind of shifted in Guild Wars to something else because, like, okay, maybe she's usable in Guild War. What do we want to destroy HP and multi-hit? Against Skogels and Trianas might be nice to multi-hit and do HP destroy, right? But then you have to think about, like, the people that are still running teams that look like that, defenses that look like that, have a jeer in them, right? And then also a lot of people have moved away from using those defenses into other things with some newer and different monsters. That's newer, different monsters. So I think that she does have a little bit of a use. I actually don't have her built. If I have to ask, the answer is probably yes, because it's me, right? But I think she probably has some usage in some Guild Wars in those teams. If you could find, maybe, you know what? Maybe there's some, like in like around the mid game, not in like Guardian levels or whatever, but in like some of the Conqueror level Guild Wars, probably like some Kamoon and Skogels kind of things. And I think Scarlet could be okay in those Kamoon Skogel teams, like against those Kamoon Skogel teams. So maybe she's got some usage there, because that's the place that I would see her being used. Kamoon Skogel Triana, maybe. I mean, usually you see different stuff like Kamoon Skogel. Whatever. Anyway, there's a lot of different variations of teams like that, but she may have some usage there. But I think people are just bummed out about this one-turn defense break instead of like an AOE defense. If it was an AOE defense break, that'd be a different story. That'd be a much different story, right? If it was an AoE defense break and then it does big damage. But it's only a single defense break on a single unit. Anyway, that's number 4 on the list. Number 3 on the list, Carcano? I don't know how to say his name. Fire Sniper, number 3 on the list, Fire Sniper. Okay, so Fire Sniper does really, really big fire-based burst damage. He's got this hidden aim pose, which of course you need to skill this up, because otherwise he's going to be doing like not that much damage, not that much damage, not that much damage. 6 turns goes down to 3 turns is a big difference in how much you can actually use the skill, right? And then we have the Deadeye passive, decrease a random target's defense for 1 turn at the start of each turn. 1 turn at the start of each turn, and randomly, right? And then you have to charge his hidden aim. He does a lot of damage, but you have to charge his skill. So, he's actually, here's the thing, he's actually not bad in the Wind Rift Beast, but that's about it. And I think a lot of people are like, there's a new monster that Comtua's put in the game, and he's only really good in the Wind Rift Beast. And I've seen some people play around with him in Siege Defense, but it was like crazy runes. And that's why I think a lot of people want him buffed. Honestly, I don't think that he's really super great based on the fact that I built him, I skilled him up, and I only use him in the Wind Rift Beast, and that's only because I'm too lazy to take him out and put something else in. But, I mean, he's useful there, but there's just so much other stuff that, you know, he could definitely use a buff. I'm not going to disagree. 112 base speed is not bad, but he could definitely use a buff. Maybe like a strip and a defense break. Now you guys are like, no, strip and defense break. That's a little too OP, Baker. That's strip and defense break, he says. And do a strip and defense break. What is it, Lauren? Yeah. Lauren, but with crazy big DPS, right? Or something to take less damage while in his hidden aims pose or something like that, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, number 3 on the list. I'm noticing that like the newer monsters are higher on the list than the older monsters. Number 2 on the list with 234 votes, the only summonable Nat 5 on this list, because Fire Panda was on the list, but he's a fusion, he's not summonable. Bale the Fire Demon is the only summonable Nat 5 on this list, and 234 votes. That's enough people really want a Fire Demon buff. So let's take a look at Fire Demon. This first skill, Sword of Destruction, they all have the same skill. This used to be a cheese for, it used to be cheese. No, it used to be back when it first came out. People were using this to cheese out some of the best scores in Hall of, I don't remember if it was Hall of Wind or Hall of Magic or something like that, but one of those towers has a lot of HP, and they were using it to absorb, basically it absorbs HP from something with high HP, and they were smacking down the boss and doing like a crazy amount of damage to the boss with this skill, right? Damage proportion to reduced HP. So if it has like, for example, 1,000,000 HP and it sucks up 10% of that, then it was sucking up like 100,000 damage or 100,000 HP and hitting the boss with 100,000 HP with the damage. It was something like that anyway, but it says boss excluded now because they had to change it because people were just cheesing it out to like one-shot bosses. But anyway, he was much more useful when he first came out before he was nerfed. People want him buffed because he was already nerfed. Devil's Bargain absorbed all other allies' HP to attack all enemies. The damage portion to absorb HP, and then recover attack bar of allies by 20% afterwards. I feel like this might be nice for like a, I don't know, like a Lucian kind of thing, man. I don't know. I feel like, no, maybe like a Vanessa, Bastet, Bale, and a Lucian kind of thing, or like a Samath, Bastet, Bale, Lucian. I don't know. I feel like that might be kind of cool. But I don't have him. I don't think we even did a video on the channel. Maybe that says something. It's like, oh, we didn't do a video. Maybe he wasn't exciting enough to do. I don't know why we didn't do a video of him. Anyway, there was probably a bunch of people that already emailed me about like, Bagel, use my bail, fire demon, use my bail, use my fire demon, use my fire, and then like a whole bunch of other emails just swamped on top of that, and then they got lost. That's probably exactly what happened. I'm willing to bet that that's exactly what happened. And then we have Flames of Hell. So this one we actually showed in a clip earlier this week of an RTA battle, not mine, RTA battle from someone else that was using Bale and Christina in like a Shield Will Cleave team. And he did a ton of damage. Element advantage, basically like Theomars on all enemies. Inflicts continuous damage proportional to the number of damage dealt for 2 turns. So it did a bunch of damage, and then it did a bunch of dots as well. Crazy damage. So it's nice, but I guess people, I haven't played around with this personally. I don't think at all. If I did, it wasn't very much. But I really have not gotten a chance to really play with him too much. He seems cool. As a unit, like, he seems cool looking, of course. I like the demons. But I guess people are just bummed out that he's not as OP as they want. I don't know. He seems cool, though. Anyway, 234 votes. I will leave it to you guys to... That's what we had the votes for, because I'm just one person. I'm just one person's opinion. 234 votes means... maybe he should get a buff, right? If that many people are voting for him. Anyway, what's number one is a big jump, though. With 322 votes, that's almost 100 votes more than number 2. That's a significant amount of increase over number 1. Kunite, the Fire Gargoyle. So let's take a look at 93 base speed. Do they all have such bad base speed? Yeah, they all have really garbage base speed. Wow, that's the first thing that they're not good at. We got the first skill. This is actually not that bad. Increases damage increases according to your defense. Increases your defense by 30%. That's actually not that bad for a first skill, right? For a second skill, damage on the enemy in proportion to your defense and destroys target's HP by the amount of damage dealt. You will be turned into a statue until the next turn starts. While your statue won't be able to move, but you will gain immunity against the inability effects, receive 30% less damage, and recover your HP by 10% until your statue state is gone. So this is basically like you know how Molong does damage based on his HP, right? Just pure damage based on his HP. He does the same thing based on his defense. So you just stack, not like crit damage, right? Crit damage would be good for this skill, but crit damage not really a thing for this skill. It's just damage based on your HP. That's just it. And it destroys, but it takes a while to like actually destroy a decent amount of HP with that. But in my opinion, like he's a decent unit for like taking damage from Camilla's and dealing damage to Camilla's and stuff like that. But that's not enough of a reason to really build him. I don't know. Not like we're seeing like super Camilla meta right now. So, but he can take plenty of hits from Camilla, and he can also destroy HP against Camilla, and it doesn't need a crit or anything, right? So that's the nice thing about that. If your turn ends with 70% or higher HP, you will be turned into a statue until the next turn starts. The damage dealt on all allies will be reduced gradually if the ally gets attacked with multiple hits when you are turned into a statue. So he's got some passives, but he's slow and he's defense based, which means like you can't like stick him on defense or something like that. He's not like an anti-cleave. Hold on, guys, I'm gonna put him on my arena defense as a fire threat. He's very slow and he's all defense based, so it means he's not gonna, Lucian's just gonna be like, oh, I crit once on him and now he's dead. So yeah, honestly I was surprised to see him this high up. I really felt like some of the other ones were going to be higher than he is, but you guys really don't like the Fire Gargoyle. I think people are just bummed out that the Gargoyles weren't better in general. They were like, we want these to be actually good instead of just like, right? Because they're like, they're not anything really too crazy. Some of it's like the light one I think is probably like, the light one and the wind one are probably the better of them. So, in my opinion, I built him. I actually used him. I think the water one's the worst, in my opinion, because I'm like, I can actually find a usage for him. Not everywhere, but not that I even use him that much. It would be like you compare him to like Lucian, where like Lucian you could use everywhere, Twins you could use everywhere, Galleon you could use everywhere. Who else is a 4-star you can use everywhere? I already said the Twins. I already said Galleon. You compare him to like the Water Cannon Girl, where you could use in way more places than him, right? So I think that if they tweaked his passive, if they just these gargoyles, just like the whole family needs buffs. Gargoyles whole family needs buffs. Cannon Girls, basically whole family needs the fire. No, not the fire one. The dark one is pretty good though. I gotta say the dark one is pretty good. From playing with her on that account, she was definitely. I don't know. I think people don't realize how good she is until they have played with her, and they're like, this does a lot of damage and a lot of damage and multi-hits and extra hits and extra hits and more damage, and she's actually an element neutral, right? So anyway, that's number 1, Fire Gargoyle, 322 votes. The viewers have spoken. It's really cool to actually be able to see all these units that people like, where the actual community has ranked all this stuff. Just for fun, let's take a look at the one that got the least amount of votes for a buff. I'm actually pretty shocked of, where is it? I'm pretty shocked, so shocked that I have no idea where it is. Harmonia got the least amount of all, of 3s, 4s, and 5 stars. Harmonia was the one that got the least amount of votes for a buff. Harmonia, 10 votes. The least. There were more people were voted for like Panda to get a buff or Vanessa to get a buff than Harmonia. She was the least voted to get a buff was Harmonia. I wouldn't have. I mean, I think she's good, but I'm like, the best? Is Harmonia the best fire unit? Like, that seems weird. I don't know. Anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you guys want to vote for the rest of them, poll.schizophrenicgamer.com. I will leave the link in the description and the comments and whatever, so you guys can go there and you can vote on the other elements as well. We'll take a look at those next. And of course, for the other elements, the numbers, more people are going to vote now after this. They're going to be like, oh, I want to vote for the next one because I thought this list was silly. So now I want to make sure my opinion is heard for the next ones. So of course, the numbers are just going to go up after those in general, because there's going to be more people voting after this video. So just keep that in mind. I don't know why I'm talking like this. Keep that in mind. If you're like, the next one is like, oh, the water blah blah blah, I got 700 votes for it needs to be buffed. That's way more than the fire gargoyle. That's just because more people are going to vote at that point, right? Anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you as always in the next one.